It is the first anniversary of the Modi government 2.0 today, and to mark the occasion, Prime Minister Narendra Modi recounts achievements and hurdles faced by the BJP government in a letter to the nation. In his letter, Prime Minister Modi has shared various schemes launched by the Modi government during the first and second term and the monumental challenges faced by it as the country is fighting coronavirus. Prime Minister Modi noted that during normal times, the celebrations for the first anniversary would have been different. He said, the collective strength and resolve of the people could be seen in a way India has dealt with coronavirus, as despite tremendous suffering of the people, Prime Minister wasted no time in putting his vision for his second tenure, which was to make a $5 trillion economy by 2024. He made his intentions for Modi 2.0 crystal clear: more disruptive reforms, structural changes, and better ease of doing business. Well, some of the key decisions include nullification of Article 370, the historic Ram Mandir verdict, criminalization of triple talaq, amendment of CAA, post of Chief of Defence Staff, Mission Gaganyaan preparations, rupees 72,000 crore in accounts of 9.50 crore farmers, Jal Jeevan Mission, and many others. Joining me on the broadcast, I have an esteemed panel with me. We have Dr. Gulresh Sheikh, BJP leader, Subran Sharai, political analyst, Priya Sehgal, Senior Executive Director of NewsX, Joyita Basu, editor of the Sunday Guardian, Ajay Kumar, spokesperson of the LJP, Sumit Peer, a political analyst, and I'm also joined by my colleague Brajesh Pandey as well. Joyita, my first question to you is, Prime Minister Modi has put out his report card for his first year of his second term. How do you view this report card of his?
Well, Christina, obviously he is going to talk about the achievements of this government. And in the last 1 year, and if you look at it, last 1 year has been very, very eventful. And especially to me, the singular most impactful decision was the abrogation of Article 370. And of course, CAA. I would talk about three decisions that were taken by this. Two rather. First is the abrogation of Article 370. Then is the CAA, and of course the economic situation leading. From the pandemic that has happened. Already the economic situation was bad, and it has gone to worse because of the pandemic.
Yes.
So I think that the stress should, personally to me, these are the three things that should be stressed upon.
Right.
And so obviously, and it is good to see that, he has been upfront about the crisis that is facing the country. And but having said that, I think what the government has been lacking in the last 1 year is, communication. We saw how the whole CA protests were totally hijacked, and primarily because of miscommunication. There was complete breakdown of communication. So these are the things that I think are the highlights of the government.
I'd like to also bring in here Priya Sehgal. Priya Sehgal, Prime Minister Modi in his letter to the nation called both terms as a continuum. The nation in fact elected the BJP government because the BJP had built a foundation for development. What do you make of it?
The foundation of development is a term that I totally disagree with, because, yes, there were a lot of changes, a lot of reforms that were brought in during this first year, but the government sort of put to reform. But in terms of economy, in terms of development, in terms of putting structural reforms in place for growth and development, I would say it's economic growth, financial growth, not social growth. In fact, there's an argument whether CA was for growth or was it actually for division. But at the end of the day, the economics and the financial and the structural growth, the foundations of which Prime Minister Modi is talking about, those really need a lot more work. In fact, I would say economy is something that has been ignored. He really has to get us back on the economic track. COVID has not helped at all. Yes, he is good at management. He is good at ensuring discipline. He has that power. The continuum is that people still trust Modi. He has the power to say, come out, sit inside your home, don't come out, and everybody listens. There is no other leader in India who could have done that, who could have issued that order and ensured a lockdown within the matter of 24 hours. Kudos to Prime Minister Modi. But can he use that power now for something else something that needs to be done, the economy. We believe in him, we trust him. But now the lesson that Modi has to come back to us with is, does Modi trust us? Is he going to also repose the same faith in us, allow us to do business, have less rules, have more openings up? That is also the need of the hour. So I really do hope that the economy is something you would have spent a lot more paragraphs on that letter. And the last point is,
yes.
Prime Minister Modi sending a letter in this age of social media, the message and the means of the message is also very interesting, I would say. But he always finds a new way to send his message across. So that's it.
All right. I'm also joined by my managing editor, Rishabh Gulati, on the broadcast. Rishabh, we are talking about Prime Minister Modi's report card in the first year of his second term. The Congress right now has hit back at the Modi government and has called BJP's one-year report card as full of red lines. Do take us through what the opposition is saying.
Look, in the bottom line, it's been a really busy year. We've almost forgotten over the past 2 months how really busy the year has been. I mean, from August onwards, J&K, you had dealt with, although there's been a via media involved with the Supreme Court with Ram Mandir. But it's going to boil down to the immediacy, right? In the immediacy, so many grand things have taken place, but the priority and focus area is where? So has the government tried to undertake some path-breaking reforms? Yes. Is there going to be a lot of GDP push that is going to be consequently required after this? Absolutely there will be. I don't think we're in a position where we can sit on any achievement of laurels of having done a budget 2.0 exercise. And it boils down to these things. The question we should be asking ourselves is, in having established and reminding us what's happened over the past 1 year so that we don't forget, is that setting the stage for what happens next? Let me try to get into Joyita Basu. The problem here is that the work is still an ongoing process. Now, a lot of effort is probably going to be required to jog our memory of everything that's been done, and the BJP is very keen on doing that effort. But the work in progress on the economic front will have to, the proof of the pudding is going to have to be in the next few months on whether it was genius, the very fact of a budget 2.0 with the reforms good enough, or whether there's a punch that is still required for all of us.
You see, that is, I think, what exactly is happening, Rishabh. Because you see, we have, considering it's 1 year, but we are not really at this point of time, we are not talking about all the things that the government has done over the last 1 year, starting from Kashmir and all, and a lot has been done. In fact, no other government ever has kind of done the things. There are positives and negatives, there may be counter views and all, but the fact is that the kind of things that have been packed in 1 year, it's quite amazing. Having said that, right now what we are seeing, exactly the way this whole pandemic crisis is being, all we are talking about is migrants, and when we should be talking about many, many more things. And even when it comes to the, say for example, what is happening with this economic situation, what we have seen is that, you see, whole lot of reforms have taken place, but right now the talk is getting hijacked in terms of whether more money should be put in the hands of people to revive the economy, because that is where the argument is going in right now. I think there is a basic, fundamental, there is a disconnect in between what is happening, what is being demanded and what is being implemented. What we have seen, it's not just stimulus, we have also seen major reform measures taking place. But whether that is going to help the economy in the short term or not, we have to look at it.
The only critique is, okay, let's look at bald facts. The bald facts is, over the course of the past couple of months, we probably saved India's agricultural economy, which should grow or stay put. So it might just see a 1% or 2% GDP growth in the agricultural sector. All the other sectors are going to see a very rapid contraction over the past couple of months. So whether we are satisfied by saying, look, if we saved the agrarian economy, that was the problem. There are so many other challenges. This X we can do. Let the reforms kick in, and the country will save itself. That remains. Yeah, Joyita, finish your point, and I'll get Nachikumar.
Yeah, I think also not just agriculture. I think another huge boost has been given to the MSME sector. Let's not forget that is almost 30% of the economy. You see, so MSME, agriculture, then areas like obviously mining and all, they have got a huge boost. Whole lot of bad corporate laws have been kind of fixed. So it is not that
All the legal changes will have to play themselves out. So it's going to be good
exactly.
in 6 months from now. Yes, it will be. But the MSMEs are also waiting for the cash. Gulrez ji, I see you. Let me just come to you in a second. Let's get Ajay Kumar. Ajay Kumar, should we be looking at a sum total, or do we have to look at the immediacy? I mean, if you're doing a one-year report card, do fundamental changes. I mean, just about 2 days ago, a massive terror attack has been averted. Okay. Had it not been averted, right now we would have been talking about, avenging a Pulwama 2.0. We wouldn't have the luxury to be talking about the economy right now. So does some accountability have to be taken for that as well? Because maybe if you hadn't done all the measures you have done, you wouldn't have been able to prevent that.
You are absolutely correct, and that is one of the major or the key achievement of the Modi government too. First year, see, we have this in one line. If I am asked to describe, this was the government of action, moving from the remote control government to the government of bureaucrats who can take decisions freely, corruption free, and in absolute administrative manner. That's why we were able to create the post of Chief of Defence Staff, who is now there full time to coordinate in the three kind of services and take affirmative action. We have been sending very clear signal to the world that look, India no more is India of 70s or India of past. If you look towards us with bad intention, we are there to check out your eyes and cut your hands over there, entering your territory, irrespective of the international law. We respect international law, but till our boundaries are safe. So that is the affirmative action attitude of the government is the biggest achievement in my views. Now taking on from Priya, she raised some very valid point on the economic front. Though I thank her, she at the same time noted our administrative reforms. She said 370, taking J&K in the union territories, taking all the properties while this lockdown was going on, taking all the legal properties from the people in J&K which belongs to the nation. But she raised serious issues on concern on, I don't know, she's smiling and saying, no. Maybe I have heard wrong.
No, you are right.
Because you're agreeing with her for a few things.
No, it's a definite no, but I will point to no later.
Okay. So let me come to the economic agenda, which I was able to hear from her, on which she has a complete disagreement. Priyaji, please note down. We have yesterday released the report card of the foreign direct investment. It has doubled from 2013, from 13 billion. We have touched 80 billions. What more you want? This is the stamp of the people's faith in economy. Singapore again has emerged as the biggest FDI, and this is how it is happening in the backdrop of we not allowing. We are going for stringent FDI norms.
Okay, Ajay Kumar, in fairness, the economy has seen some positives, but in fairness, there was an issue with the economy which was hovering at a growth rate which was far from where we wanted to be. We wanted it to be a 9% growth rate. Or
I'm
this was before anything went wrong.
Yeah.
So there is work to be done. We can't say that part of the work cycle needs to be
just give me 30 seconds on that. You have because raised a very valid point. But sometimes when we discuss the outcome, we forget the background at which we started. When we took over in 2013, there were two challenges before the economy. One was the inflation, and the other was the sluggish progress of the projects. We have huge projects not taken out of our focus. Look at the building of the roadways, the infrastructure. We were constructing 6 kilometers of road. Today, we are constructing 30 kilometers of roads every day. So the reason for this sluggish economy was inflation. When we went out to correct the inflation, which now is in control, now we have an inclusive economy. Farmers are in, We have a lot of welfare measures.
Okay, so you are doing checklists. Okay, it's fair enough to do checklists. If we didn't have the Jan Dhan accounts, we wouldn't have been able to do the direct cash transfer. Every single rupee you would have announced would never have gotten to the farmers. So there are positives that have taken place, but immediacy, what is hurting us right now is obviously going to take the lion's share of the focus. And that's a reality which we just have to accept. Just stay with me. Let me get Sumit Peer and then I'll get Subhranshu to set it up for Gulrez ji to one by one rebut the points. Sumit Peer, so many things have taken place. The economy becomes the measure because in the end, unless we are all in our families and in our professions and in our businesses thriving, we are not part of the India story. Now, Kashmir is going to be important and taking out Pakistan terror is going to be important and India's prestige on the world stage is going to be important and all these play an economic fact also. But as things stand right now, should we be measuring the report card only by the performance of the financial package? That's it.
I think, Rishabh, the point here is, you have to look at these path-breaking reforms as the government has announced, around 7-8 of them, which we have discussed. And CDS is one of the very important things what has come. There were more things which were in the pipeline, which we know, like population control, paying uniform civil code, maybe many more reforms. But due to COVID, that has taken a bit of backseat. But we have never said we are not going to do it. And see the way we handled COVID. Rishabh, one notable point is that this time in COVID, everything was running. Telecom was running, banks were running, medicines were running, retail was running. Have you heard of anybody saying, I didn't get anything? Hospitals, everything was running. The government machinery ensured that everything was running. Then comes a 300 billion stimulus package. Now this is a restart package. This is stimulus plus reforms. This is not the money given to the people to splurge on. It is a restart of the economy, and we are many more things which are going to come in. But if you take out 3 months of COVID, if you look at 9 months minus that, there are at least 9 to 10 major reforms which have been announced, and in this package also there are a lot of reforms which are announced, which Joyita said. So we definitely need more, but looking at the situation we are, when the other economies are contracting between 6 to 12%, the top 10 economies in the globe are contracting between 6 to 12%. We might do 1 to 1.8% of growth.
I'm having this conversation obviously for the past month. The only question is, why not simply do more? We are not worried about the deficit right now, and that's the critique that comes. Simply do more if this is what's required in X, and forget the political criticism, but simply do more. If X or Y industry requires help, give it to them. What's the problem? What is holding us back?
Absolutely, Rishabh. Nothing is holding us back, but still we are out. We are not kind of out of COVID. Still, we have not kind of peaked. The things are getting stabler. Life is getting normal in a lot of parts of the country. But one thing I can tell you about Modi ji, the Honorable Prime Minister, is nothing is impossible. You might not know after 15 days, you might hear of a path-breaking reform which you and me could have not even imagined. We have seen him doing that. So, with Modi hai to mumkin hai, hope is there, and this man has the vision.
I'll take on that point with Subhransh, and then let's set it up for Gulrez Sheikh for a point-by-point rebuttal. Because Subhransh Rai, here is a criticism, and it is in many ways valid. Because the BJP will tell us that, look, here is a long list of things that in this country could not be done for 30 years, 40 years, 50 years, 60 years. Nobody could fathom that there could be an absolutely peaceable impact, no reaction to a major verdict on a Ram temple, which is now concluded. It's almost something we've almost forgotten. We almost made it to the moon. We had J&K, in which a fundamental change for 70 years could not be done. We've come and did it. We do all these things, and rather than just getting our fair credit with the criticism, you completely ignore all of those things. Is that also not unfair, Subhranji?
Rishabh, let's talk into the easygoing language. And first, I congratulate our Prime Minister Modi for second tenure 2.0 for the first year. First, 3 valid points. Congratulations for Prime Minister Narendra Damodar Das Modi into the golden words to getting and losing more than millions and millions, crores of people losing their job into their financial reform. Point number 1. India getting highest number of FDIs, still people are losing jobs. The numbers in crores. आपकी नहीं गई है, बाकी सबकी चली गई है. Point number 1. Point number 2. Crores and crores of people losing and affected their business because of Gabbar Singh tax an inefficient mind of economic policy. Congratulations for second point. हमारा व्यापार नहीं हुआ है, लेकिन बहुत सारे लोगों का चला गया है और अभी बहुत सारे लोग और जाएंगे. Point number 3, yes, we are on Mars. Yes, we are on Mars, but people are dying into the road. Government of India, government of railways are completely failed. If we cannot protect the life of our common mango man, जिनके लिए कहा गया था कि मोदी है तो मुमकिन है, और हर मोदी घर घर मोदी, जिन लोगों ने कहा ये आएंगे तो सब रातों रात राम राज आ जाएगा, वो तमाम लोग सड़कों पे, ट्रेन की पटरियों पे दम तोड़ रहे हैं. These are the star achievements by Prime Minister.
अगर फरवरी तक आपने उनके माथे पे लगा दिया कि भाई ये तुम्हारे
आज एक सुनिए ना, सुन चलो
नरेंद्र right now, is this his fault?
सर 21 मिनट में आपको सुन रहा हूँ, 21 minutes from long. प्लीज कम से कम 1.5 मिनट तो बोलने दो. Yes, I tell you that. I
can't answer your counter question.
No, my dear.
अरे आपने घड़ी देखनी है तो मेरे साथ डिबेट में मत बैठिए. 6 और 20 सबके बाद जाता हूँ, प्लीज.
My dear friend, 21 मिनट के कंपैरिजन में 30 सेकंड में आप घड़ी देख रहे हो.
फिर आप घड़ी देखिए अपनी. आप प्लीज अपनी घड़ी देखिए, आराम से घड़ी देखिए. अगर आप मुझे not tolerate a question.
No, it's not a matter of tolerate the question. It is a matter you don't have problem to hear against Prime Minister Modi. Prime Minister Narendra Modi.
So then just hold on.
One of the worst Prime Minister of 21st century. As for the Governor of India, we are into negative growth. या हम घाटे में चल रहे हैं. We are in negative growth. ये गवर्नर ने बोला, मैं नहीं बोल रहा हूँ. And you are talking for good things. ना जिंदगी बचेगी ना नौकरी बचेगी, फिर भी you have a good golden words. I'm not tolerating. I'm telling the fact story. And if you have the guts, accept my challenge and go into the road and ask the people. भैया मोदी जी बोल रहे हैं अच्छे दिन आ गए हैं. Then people can reply you.
Subransh, stay all this for all the other news anchors. Don't do the histrionics.
No, it is not a matter of news anchor. Yeah, Resabulati, if I heard you from last 21 minutes, it is your responsibility to hear my words as well. Because I am not hearing, so you listen to one-sided words. It is the achievement of Prime Minister Narendra Modi to make India into complete shutdown.
Coronavirus, Narendra Modi's fault.
हाँ, ये तो वो भी बोलेंगे.
Rishabh, can I reply?
No, but Rishabh, the management of coronavirus is
again failed. Maybe you have 400 cases, you have done the
Rishabh, our Congress my Congress counterpart.
Not particularly Congress per se, but nonetheless, he's holds the put. Gulraj Sheikh, let me still cut into a question then.
Yeah.
What he is saying might not be the fault of a individual or the government, and you can say, okay, had Narendra Modi not been there, this lockdown would not have been possible and the situation would have been worse. But in reality, the situation is bad. We will have a negative GDP growth. People are losing their jobs. Shops and industries are shutting down. The biggest companies in India are sacking people. That's also a reality. It might not all be Narendra Modi's fault or the BJP's fault, but that's a reality and you are stuck with it.
See, he was talking as if Narendra Modi is Xi Jinping and BJP is Wuhan or Wuhan Institute of Virology. He was speaking in that manner. But anyways, you are true that right now the GDP and economy is going in negative. And that is, everybody know, because look at our PMI. Our PMI is definitely negative since all the projections are halted since past 2 months. We were having two choices. One was saving the lives, another was saving the money. Mr. Narendra Modi chose first one because we can definitely bring up the economic reform.
Gulraj, had you saved the life?
Also. Yes,
sir.
When
you have 400 cases, you open the boundary when you have 1.7 lakhs cases. Neither you have testing, neither you have facility, neither you always have a scale into the PPE kit, you have to scan into the ventilator. These are the achievements by the Gujarat government, Himachal Pradesh government of BJP ruled state.
Just a bit, whether we've had a ventilator scan in this country or not.
Come on,
you are accepting the problem. The problem is this. So my simple question is, if we are accepting the problem, why not simply do more? Which is what people can't understand. That you have the ability, why leave it to the RBI? Let the government do heavy lifting. Don't worry about the deficit.
See, right now we have given boost up injections to agriculture sector, to the MSME sector. It was very much necessary to bring liquidity in the market. But any government, a right-thinking government, right-planning government, won't give anything in one go, because you never know what July will head for us, what will the condition in August.
Absolutely.
So you keep Stephanie with you so that in time of
But you are saying Stephanie is there. No, you are saying Stephanie is there. Then more will come.
Yes, depending on the crisis. Suppose you think in another direction. Suppose one of the sector is lagging behind, and you need urgent boost up.
But
for that, then you have to
counter
keep a
argument
for that.
In this case, sometimes if you leave the medication too late, the patients are already dead. So many companies are already shut. They've lost their jobs. Sometimes agar Stephanie hai to istemal kar le na. This is also a logic which is being put by people, and it's not an unsound